Whoa. I'm gonna slide off there.
Welcome to the cozy hour.
Welcome back. Wait a minute. My chair's going wonky. Welcome back. Dinner's over. We're all set up here. We're gonna do some channel talk here. We're gonna talk about some backpacking gear and a few other things. So the biggest argument everybody always has is, are trail runners versus hiking boots, what do you prefer? So obviously I prefer hiking boots, and I've lost some toenails on the AT from jamming my toes, even though I have hiking boots. But those hiking boots I had didn't fit too well. So based upon how much you spend on your boots is pretty much the end result you're going to get. The boots I have now are crispy boots, and they were about $350 to about $400, and basically they fit like slippers. My feet slide very minimal inside of my boots, and I hardly ever get blisters. When your foot's sliding around in there, you're going to get blisters on your feet, and you'll also get them if your feet are wet. So it's a catch-22. It's all personal preference. So I would go with boots. What do you want to? What's your preference, Jeremy?
Well, you know, I hike in trail runners. I like the trail runners are very light. They're very light on my feet. I feel like the ultras. I wear the ultras, and they have a large toe box. It gives me a lot of room for my toes. I feel like they dry out fast, and I feel like when I switch to those, I could start hiking more. But like you said too, sizing matters too. It matters in boots as well.
It has to fit. It has to fit perfect.
I'm always like, I don't like, not like we're giving advice. We're having a discussion, right?
Yeah.
But like everybody's feet's different.
Right.
What you got to do is, what you have to do is like find out what works for you. I know double layering socks helped with boots when I was hiking with boots. If you double layer socks, it really backed off with the blisters. You could actually get sock liners. They're real thin sock. But I see benefits of a boot. I would like to have a boot in the winter. Trail runners they're not very winter friendly. You know, they get near water, they're wet. So you're going through snow with them, and you know, your feet are wet and your feet are frozen. So both have their uses. Just make sure you size yourself right. You know, you just make sure you're wearing the right size. It's always a good idea to size up one size, from what I've learned.
I heard people tell me that their feet swell up. Well, there's two sides to that. Number one, your shoes probably don't fit, or boots that you have don't fit, because your feet should not be swelling up. I mean, I like boots because I have broken toes on both feet. 4 of them are from the AT. One came from work. Somebody dropped something on my foot. But I do not like wet feet whatsoever. So my boots have a Gore-Tex lining. And there are different kinds of boots, depending upon how much you want to spend. My boots are made in Italy. They're handmade, so they fit like a glove. I have literally no break-in period. And I never looked back. Yes, it was a lot of money. But if you're going to hike, you need to protect your feet from foot damage. So you can get broken toes. I have ripped plantar fasciitis muscle. I ripped about 6 or 7 years ago because I did not have the right footwear. And apparently I was not walking, my heel strike was not correct for how much weight I had on my pack, according to the foot doctor.
That matters too, the way you walk.
Yes, it does.
The way
it actually ripped the muscle in my heel.
Now, there's one I wanted to say. There's one thing about boots; they last for years, correct?
Yes.
Rather than trail runners.
Yeah, you'll get about, depending upon what you walk, how far you walk. These are 5 years old. They still look like they're brand new. There's not a mark on them whatsoever.
I buy a new pair of trail runners once a year.
Okay.
So at least. But one thing that's about heel strike, it was these are flat shoes rather than, they have no arch to them, rather than like a regular shoe. Okay. They're like totally flat. I feel like that really helps with me hiking. I just feel like when I switch to trail runners, I can hike further and longer, for longer distance of time.
And everybody's feet, like Jeremy said, everybody's feet are different.
Right.
Some people have a lot of injuries to their feet, some don't. There's a lot of noise going on over there.
Getting all the shots off they can before they close.
Oh, that one too, yeah. The gun club down at the bottom is still racking off rounds in the dark, and they're supposed to be done by now, but yeah, everybody's feet's different. I have trail hikers, or I'm sorry, trail runners. Mine are Brooks. They were about $100, and I tried them, but what happens with me is I get a lot of pain that goes up through my heel because there's no shock absorption in my trail runner, and then it goes up my leg, and then my knees hurt, and then by the time I come back, my lower back hurts. But if I go put my hiking boot on, it absorbs all that shock from the road, and I have no leg pain or lower back pain. Some people get hip pain from that too, but I don't. Mine's lower back, and then my knees start to ache. But I have tried both of them. I've given both a chance. So that's our opinion on trail runners. What was the first backpack that you had?
First backpack I had,
The very first one that you used
was a Coleman external frame pack. So I remember.
No,
It was
no frills there. No.
It was external frame, and it had the flap on the back, and then had the frame on the bottom where you strapped your sleeping bag that was about this big. You know.
Yeah, I remember that. I had one of them. I tried it for a little bit. Somebody gave it to me, but I donated it to somebody else because the frame kept getting hung up in the trees and smacking me in the back of the head. So
it worked for me. It got me out.
Like it.
But yeah, I mean, compared to what you can get nowadays, wow.
Yeah, it's come a long distance.
Right.
So pack number 2.
Pack
What
number-
came after that?
That's when we were talking about earlier. That's when I bought the Kelty.
You bought the Kelty tank.
Yeah.
I had one of them too.
Well, the tank got me through. I took that tank through the Loyalsock Trail. The 60 miles of Loyalsock
The
Trail.
tank weighed about 6 pounds.
That was back in my hiking boot days. I was
Yeah.
wearing hiking boots.
The tank weighed about 6 pounds empty, and it had reinforced daisy chains
I was
on the
also
front.
carrying probably a 5-pound Kelty tent too
Yeah,
at the time.
but you could do anything you wanted to it, and you could not hurt it.
Yeah, that pack's awesome.
You could bungee strap somebody to that, and carry them out of the woods, and that tank, it wouldn't even
We're
blink.
talking the Red Cloud 5600
Yeah.
is what we're talking about. So if you're familiar with the 5600, that
I,
was a beast.
yeah, it was a beast.
I actually, man, you're making me regret getting rid of it.
We're flashing back because there was nothing you could do to that whatsoever. It never wore out. I actually, I modified mine. I had carabiners up here, and then when I had a lot of weight on it, I went up the hill. I would pull on them to make my pack tip forward like a load adjuster on it, so it would take some of that pain off my back. And then I had from a pack before that, I actually sewed double padding on the shoulders because it hurt so bad. That was like the most uncomfortable one, but at that time everything was heavy, so my backpack could weigh 50 to 60 pounds because I had a 5-pound Cabela's tent too. It was a beast, and we took all kind of crazy stuff with us because we had no ultralight anything. It's whatever you got is what you got. That was crazy.
Ultralight. I never even heard of the term ultralight back then. That wasn't a term I knew of.
Yep, didn't exist.
Actually, my friends and I, we bragged more about whose pack was the heaviest. That's what we bragged about. Not who. Nowadays, you brag about who's the lightest.
Right.
Well, my friends and I were just probably backwards anyway.
So before that pack, I had a military pack. I would buy everything from cheaper than dirt, and it was all military surplus. And let me adjust this light on here. How's that? Much better. Had to make some GoPro adjustments there.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We had to tweak the camera a little bit. Mocha latte, coffee, and hot chocolate. Too hot. Gotta let it breathe a little bit. So before I had my Kelty Cloud, I had an Alice pack, which I believe came out around the Vietnam era. It had a metal frame on it. It was OD green, and basically it was a giant rucksack on a metal frame. You could get two sizes. You could get ginormous, or you could get like a large, and then it had 3 pockets on the front, which was usually for your ammo. But I never used that. I put everything inside. Oh, here comes another person up the trail.
Biking.
Mountain bike.
Holy shit.
No. So that's what I used. I had the Alice pack, and then the shoulder straps. Once that wore out, they ended up on my Kelty pack. Okay, next order of business would be water filter technology. What kind of water filter did you start with?
What was the name of the brand? It started with a K.
Katahdin. Katahdin. It was
not Katahdin, but something like that.
Yeah,
right?
it was something like Katahdin.
It was that pump. You had to pump it like this, hand pump, and had the tube. You put one tube in the water, then the tube came out the other side into your.
Yeah, it had a ceramic filter.
Yeah,
and it weighed like 3 pounds. I had a Sweetwater one. It had the handle on the side. It did the same thing, but it went like this. Mine did not work very well.
I broke mine in cold weather. That handle?
Yeah. Broke it off. No, I never broke mine. I mean, it kind of worked, but I still got sick from dirty water twice. And the family doctor asked me, "Oh, what are you doing? Drinking bad well water?" I said, "No, it's from hiking on the Appalachian Trail. My filter failed." So neither one of us liked that. After that, I tried the UV light.
I heard
that UV light. I tried that, but once again, I ended up at the doctor's office. Apparently, it doesn't work very well in cold water. And when I was trying to purify my water, sometimes I would zap it 2 or 3 times. That didn't work for me. So then I think I saw they came out with one that had salt in it, and it had some kind of special salt that you mixed in this container. It was supposed to be like a military grade, and after that you like dumped it into your water bottle and it killed everything. And then there's all the crazy drops they have out there. You ever try the drops?
Yep, I tried the drops this past winter.
Yeah, you do good.
I didn't get sick.
No, I think.
I guess so. I think I did it with like a liter of water.
Okay.
And it requires like so little drops.
Yeah.
It was like hard for me to be like, did I get enough drops in there? Next time I do it with the drops, I'm gonna get like kind of like that thing you carry around, like a gallon,
like 5 liters,
where I can put like a significant amount in that I know, because you have to put like so many drops in per gallon or liter, right?
Yeah.
But I think it would be better to do like a large quantity at once rather than a liter bottle.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Next time I do drops, I'll do a larger quantity of it.
I had some stuff that had chlorine in it. I had one that was equal to having bleach, and then I had some pills that you put in there, and then you shook it up, and then you had to leave it sit for 45 minutes, and then take the top off and let it breathe, and then when you drank it, it was nasty. So I tried everything. Now both of us have a what's our water filter?
Sawyer Squeeze.
Sawyer Squeeze. We both have the Sawyer Squeeze. I still put pills in mine. I put 2 per liter, and it turns the water kind of like a reddish brown color. So I double dose mine, and it has a little bit of bad taste, but I've never had any issues since I started going down that path with that. No complaints.
I might check out that Be Free. I see that's kind of getting pretty popular now. A lot of people use that.
The Be Free?
The Be Free filter. It looks pretty quick. I think that's what it is. Be Free.
Oh, I know what you mean. I've seen that. Is it like the one that's in the bag?
Yeah.
You can spill it on your water filter.
Yeah, John uses it. Looks awesome.
I'm always leery about bags like that because.
Right? Same thing, but
because
I mean,
if you get a hole in it, it's going to leak.
Yeah, but there's ways around it. I think you can like fit other things to it. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I
be stuck to one bag, but I don't think that's the case really.
I heard a few people that you can actually take that filter and put it on your water bottle.
Right.
So I know some people will do that.
Yeah, Sawyer Squeeze just got it. You went with the perfect on the smart water bottle or any cap like that.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Now we're going to run out of battery power. So we're going to go to plan B. I'm going to go to battery pack. Are we on?
There's definitely bad days
Yep.
we could be out here.
Now we have unlimited power.
There's bad days in the woods and there's good days in the woods. Today was a good day in the woods.
There we go.
Welcome back to
Welcome
Good Day
back.
in the Woods.
Okay, next topic. Let's see. Backpack adjustments. How do you tell what backpack size fits you? Basically, you measure from the back, one of your vertebrae in the bottom of your neck, all the way down to your base of your spine, and that'll tell you what size backpack you need. Small, medium, or large. Some have extra small. Some are adjustable. If you have a Gregory pack, some of those have a giant section of Velcro that you can adjust it up or down. I have one Osprey and I have 3 Gregory packs. One of them I gave away. So I have a 30 liter and I have a 48 liter when I'm going lighter on warmer days. And backpacks generally have a weight rating. You have to look on the description of the pack to tell you how many pounds it can hold. And then you'd have to know how much gear you have. If you go beyond the weight rating for your pack, you can actually rip your straps off of your pack, or it might ride more uncomfortable, so it's more pain in your back. Today both of us have Osprey packs. I have a 50 and Jeremy has a, what do you have, a 60 or 65?
65. I thought you had it looked like a 65.
No, I have 50s.
That's a 50?
Yeah, I won't go bigger than 50.
That's a 50?
It's just extra long. I got the longest one I could get for my height. That's why it looks that way.
Yeah, that's the Atmos Light. It's the light version that I got. It's pretty sweet. It's pretty sweet, but you know, yeah, it's a hefty pack. But it'll carry some weight.
Backpacks usually weigh about 3 to 6 pounds, depending upon what you have.
Well, my Z-Packs pack weighs just over a pound.
Okay. I don't know. I never looked at one of them.
It's decent.
Does it have a suspension system?
No, I mean it has.
Does it have shoulder straps?
It has a frame, if that's what you mean. You know.
Osprey seems to be the most dominant pack on the trail. Once in a while, I'll see a Dyneema go by, and I asked one guy if I could try it on, and it has no suspension. Basically, it's like a giant rucksack with shoulder straps.
Yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just the top rolls down.
Yeah, the no frame thing.
Yeah, there's nothing in there.
And they use their sitting pad for to pad the back of it.
Yeah,
those kind of packs. Yeah.
Because it feels like a knee in your spine.
That's because you have to have really light stuff inside of it.
Yeah.
If they have really light stuff, then it's probably not bad.
Yeah, which means you're going to be a more experienced backpacker. Some of us
just have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you know how expensive that is.
Yeah. Anything that says Dyneema's five bills or more. Everything's expensive. But I think Osprey has a better suspension system. They are a little bit heavier, but once you put that weight on there, it actually rides pretty nice on your back. It's not hurting your back hardly at all, even though it weighs more. And then if you go side to side, I don't even use my waist belt. I very seldom ever connect it, because my Osprey, it's like molded around you. It fits like a glove. Even the hip belt, it's molded so it goes around you, and it actually holds onto you. Where some packs, if you put on and you wiggle them like this, they wobble all over your shoulder. That might not be the pack for you. I don't think that fits too well. But Osprey has a lot of ultralight versions. Osprey has a lot of ultralight versions now they keep coming out with. Gregory does too. My Gregory, I have to be careful how I pack that so I don't rip it. My first backpacking trip, I had a backpack from Cabela's. I had the Cabela's air mattress, and my first trip was a disaster. We got dropped off at Swatera and we came out of Port Clinton, and by the time I got to the first elevation gain and we got to the top, my straps started to rip up here on both sides because I had too much weight on my pack. I had a lot of canned goods and stuff in there and crazy stuff because I didn't know that much. But so as the trip proceeded, I seemed to give a lot of my stuff away to other backpackers that wanted food, and some of my gear I actually buried like in a watertight bag, and then I came back and got it like a month later. But that was a disaster, and that pack just didn't fit, and I had no idea what I was doing, and I had nobody show me how to pack anything.
At least you tried.
Yeah, I tried. And then the kicker was, it rained for like 2 days straight. So now I started out with 50 pounds, and now I had 70 pounds of gear on my back that was soaking wet. So at one point I picked my pack up. We went into one of the shelters and turned it upside down, and I had to wring everything out to make it lighter. Eventually it did dry out, but that was probably the worst backpacking trip I ever had. A lot of people buy backpacks and they are not adjusted correctly to your back. I do not have a sternum strap on mine. I cut that off because I don't like them either. But your sternum strap basically keeps the straps on the side together from coming apart, which makes your pack more stable, but it also, if it's not sitting right, it can constrict your breathing right here because it's sitting on your chest. So if your sternum strap is up here, your pack is too high. Your sternum strap is actually supposed to be down here. You want to adjust your pack so it sits right, and you want your pack to lean forward a little bit and not lean backwards or sag down. Your waist belt actually needs to go around your hips where the bone is. So when you lock that in place, it's actually carrying most of the weight on your pack. The reason I don't use it because my back is really strong. I do a lot of lifting at work, so my shoulders are pretty solid. But when I'm climbing over them rock piles, I will cinch that down, or towards the end of the day when my back starts to hurt, I'll cinch it down to take some of that weight off my shoulders. So there's my backpacking tips. I usually am an overnighter guy or section hiker. I don't do long trails like Jeremy does. But they're my backpacking tips. I can't talk. Backpacking tips. There we go. And this video will not be edited whatsoever. So whatever happens here stays here. Alright, let her rip. Your turn. What do you want to talk about backpacking?
Is it going?
Whatever you want to talk about.
I don't know.
Shoes.
I don't know.
Water filters. Your first backpacking trip. You need some light. There you are.
You have to give me a topic. You're gonna have to give me a topic.
How did your first backpacking trip go? Was it a success?
My first backpacking trip. That's hard to say. What defines a backpacking trip? Like what are you talking about? A backpacking trip?
Your first 3-day trip.
My first 3-day trip.
Did you have gear failure? Did you get drowned? Did you get lost?
I think my first 3-day trip, did I tell you about that today? Down in West Virginia with my friend. We were just fresh out of high school. We went down to West Virginia to the North Fork Trail. Now he did it before. He's the one that got me into hiking. It's one of those trails where it's long water carries. There's no water on it. It's notorious. And people would actually drive halfway through it. This was, I think, 24-mile route we did. And that was big for me. That was big back then. Especially away from home, being young. Yeah, it was fun. But I remember that trip being very thirsty on that trip. Very thirsty. Oh, yeah. And beautiful views down there in West Virginia. That's the trail my friend, he went out and shot a squirrel. We ate a squirrel for dinner one night.
Living off the land.
Yeah, that and vodka. But that was my first backpacking trip. That was a fun adventure. They'll drive down, you know, the camps, the struggle, the memories. That might have been the one that triggered me into wanting to just pursue that.
Okay.
It wasn't too long after that where I was going out on my own on overnights. You know, that was my first 3-day trip probably. A lot of overnights before that, but you know, I classify that as my first backpacking trip.
Okay.
That was with the old Coleman. That was with the old Coleman pack.
The external frame.
Oh yeah. Yep. Good times. Back in the days, we didn't have phones, didn't have video cameras or anything like that. All we have of it between him and I, whatever's left of the pictures we took and developed. You know, it was just different back then. No vlogs. There's no vlog for that one.
No.
I remember we met these guys in town too. Him and I. This is where we roll in late because that was our thing. We roll in late. And we're trying to find a trailhead, and it's just dudes just like kind of like what we're doing, just sitting by a fire hanging out, and we're like just rolling out. We're like, is the trailhead here? They're like, yeah, it's right here. Blah blah. We ended up hanging with these guys all night, hanging out with these guys. There were just these cool guys that they had this apartment nearby. They had this piano. This guy was singing on the piano, and then they ended up hiking with us up to the top of the first climb. Those are some crazy guys. And then after the hike was over, Mike and I went back and we visited them, and we all got pizza together down there. Yeah, I forgot all about that. That was fun.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I forgot those guys' names. They were like the Odd Couple. That's, you know what I mean. You remember the movie?
Yeah, I remember
the show.
that. Yeah,
the movie, the show, the Odd Couple.
Yeah, I remember.
It was
that.
like these two dudes. The one just played this piano.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I think it was like an adventure like that. Going to a different town, meeting people, and the struggle involved. That was a long. I remember being thirsty. Did not handle the water properly there. I mean, I might go back and visit that one day. Sorry for the long story,
That's
but
all right.
he asked.
It's all right. All right, creepy crawlies in the dark.
Oh, there's a subject.
Here we go. What's the creepiest thing at night? Well, let's say. I'm just going to come out and say it. How do you feel about Bigfoot creeping around in the mountains of Pennsylvania?
I guess I'll say what I told you. I mean,
Got no rules here. Put it all on the table.
yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to talk about, think about, and everything like that. But I really don't think Bigfoot's creeping around my tent. You know, I like the lore and stuff behind it.
But
and
does
everything.
does he exist, or can
Oh,
he
yes,
survive in another state that has more wilderness?
I think that's still yet to be determined.
Okay.
I mean, nobody's found him yet.
And there's a lot of Bigfoot channels out there.
But I mean, I do a lot of solo hiking. Like I said, it's something that I say I don't think about. You know, I think about a lot of things when I'm out by myself.
Yeah.
Especially when you're deep out there, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I think you get your mind wandering. The mind out there is the scariest creature of them all to me, because if I get my mind rolling,
Yeah.
well, I can freak myself out. Everybody knows that, right?
Yeah, everybody.
So it's like, Bigfoot could definitely exist in your mind, and that can definitely mess with you out there.
So
I've never seen Bigfoot.
So the only predators Pennsylvania has are black bears. We have bobcats that make really odd noises. Bears make a lot of weird noises. And we have coyotes. And coyotes are a pack animal. They howl back and forth across the mountain. You let the other coyotes on the other mountain know that somebody's walking around, or something's moving, or anything in between. So a lot of the Bigfoot sounds that you hear, if you listen to them, they are the sound of a canine howling. They are not a Bigfoot. Bears have a habit of just growling and following you around. I've had some really creepy bear encounters over the years, most of them during hunting. I went late archery one time, hunting the skook, as the locals call it. Hopefully my light's shining the right way here, but so it was winter time and we had a couple feet of snow and it was really cold, so I went up and hunted a flat right off the road, and after a couple hours something was walking around me, circling me, which bears have a habit of doing. They like to get downwind of you, figure out what you are. And this bear circled me a few times, and I figured out what it was. I couldn't see him. So a lot of people say that they hear bipedal sounds, which basically I want you to differentiate between what it sounds like something with 4 feet or something with 2 feet walking around circling you, which is classic black bear behavior. So anyhow, I went down. I got tired of that bear messing with me, so I went down the side of the mountain and I went across a ravine and up the other side. And the bear proceeded to follow me over there also. And he was still circling me, but this time he was getting aggressive. He was growling at me. I still couldn't see him. So I went down the other side of the mountain, which is really steep, and I took the long way out and went back out the road and went back home. So yeah, it does sound like a person is stalking you, but it's not. Once again, it's a black bear. Does Bigfoot exist? Not in Pennsylvania. Maybe you'll pass through. There are a lot of, like Jeremy says, it makes a good story and you want it to be, but is it really there? I would say no. Most of the Bigfoot sightings that everybody's had has been in the western part of the United States, would be Washington, or in Canada, which has a much more vast wilderness than we do. My thought on Bigfoot is it makes a good story, and if you had 100 people in a room and one person said he saw a Bigfoot, then everybody else is going to come up with a Bigfoot story too. But it doesn't mean that Bigfoot doesn't exist. We need proof. Everybody has a cell phone in their pocket with a really great camera. Take pictures of it, put it up, hair samples. Bigfoot has to go to the bathroom somewhere. If he weighs 800 pounds, I'm pretty sure he's going to leave a pretty big pile behind. Somebody should be able to find that pile of scat. You should also be able to find pieces of hair stuck in the brush. You could have that analyzed to see what it is. So you need proof. It doesn't mean he doesn't exist, but I want to see proof of Bigfoot. And the other catch-22 here is everybody says they keep saying mountain lions in Pennsylvania. Do mountain lions exist in Pennsylvania? It's very possible. They could be coming from another part of the United States, the young males looking for new territory. They are very elusive, and a lot of times they stick to the top of the mountain or the ridge tops. They usually don't, travel lower down. Most of their diet usually is meat. So we do have an abundance of deer. So that's a real possibility. And then you have black panthers. People say, well, there's black panthers here. Is a black panther a black mountain lion? No, it's not. A black panther and a mountain lion are two different species, even though they are cats. Panthers live in the jungle. They do not live where it's cold. Period. That's all there is. Some people see house cats going through fields, and their perception of the size that it is. The biggest a house cat would ever be might be 20 to 30 pounds max. A mountain lion can go 100 pounds plus for a male. A bobcat, it will weigh about 30 pounds, and they are a very aggressive cat for their size. They can take down a full-grown buck by itself if it jumps on its back. So, predators of Pennsylvania, black bear, bobcat, and coyotes. No Bigfoot. But it does make a good story. If there was a Bigfoot out there, I'm sure they would be stealing our food from us or stalking us on the AT. But no, I'm sorry. I just don't think he's out there.
Not tonight.
Not tonight, no.
Yet.
I mean, Jeremy, he's all over the northern tier. for many years. He has no encounters of anything of like strange noises
They
or
like to talk.
howls.
They like to
tree
talk
knocks.
about it up there.
Yeah, it's very rampant up there.
They like to talk about it.
They
up
want
there.
it to exist, but it makes a good story, but that doesn't mean something
I'm
is
no
there.
expert of the woods so much. I like to hike, right? But like, I don't really look for the signs of it though. It might be something I might be interested in looking for, like some of those deeper places. Look for signs, right?
Yeah.
Because there's things you can look for.
Every,
I have, you know what? I have seen some weird things like I can't explain, like as in like, you know, saplings bent over, like for no apparent reason, kind of thing, like one after the other, not cracked,
yeah.
not broken.
Well, that's one of the telltale signs of Bigfoot.
Like, you
He's
know,
leaving signs behind, apparently.
or
So
warning signs or kind of thing.
they're marking their territory.
That was out on the Mid-State Trail.
Yeah.
Right above the Wolf Run Wild area where I was this past year, and I came across this. It was this row of saplings. It was like, it didn't look like it was wind damage or storm damage, but it was very strange, I have to say. I try not to think about it because it got dark soon after that. So I tried to just.
So your mind was going wild.
I did not let my mind go wild.
You did not let you
Did not.
jump at every
I moved
noise.
on. I moved on very far away from that spot.
So where we're at, it is pitch black. You cannot see anything. Let me turn the light off here for
The
a minute.
moon should be bright tonight when
Yeah.
it gets up here. But.
So now you can't see us.
Hi.
You can't see your hand in front of your face. It's so dark out here. There is no road noise whatsoever because we're down in between two mountains. And we're about a mountain past the Eckville shelter. Here we go. It's very creepy out here. This is a high predator area. Not, I would say not coyotes, basically a bear. There are a lot of bears in the area that we're at. So we have to make sure that our camp stays very clean. We don't want any visitors tonight. So there's our channel talk for the evening. Tomorrow we're going to bust out about 6 o'clock. And we're about 2 miles from the road. And that'll be the end of our trip. This is a very long video. It may be broken up into sections. You can check out Jeremy's or PA Timber Ghost. I'm not sure when my video will go up. I'm planning on doing a lot of hunting this year, so there may be fewer videos on PA Timber Ghost.
But he'll be back.
I'll be back. I got to do my hunting thing this year, and I have some responsibilities things that I need to be taken care of around the house and fixed. Some of my lingering projects, which seem to haunt me. Every time I fix something, something else breaks. I'm getting tired of fixing broken stuff. It's cutting into my YouTube time. So you may see my videos kind of fade away for a while, but my community page will stay active. And you can always check out PA Timber Ghost too. That's probably where I'll be posting videos. They will probably be in the nature of hunting or shooting or something of that nature. That's my other passion, other than spending time hiking and doing other things outside. So, what's your next big what's your next big adventure going to be?
My next big adventure.
Yes, where's it going to be this time?
Hopefully, be checking out the Foothills Trail down south this December. I think I'll be taking a trip down there so far. As for that, I haven't put any trails set anything in stone for next year, but I got some ideas, so
Alrighty, thanks for spending the time with us around a campfire and not clicking through. And we'll see you tomorrow morning bright and early on the way off the AT. And that'll be the end of our 3-day hike. So we will see you in the morning.
Cheers.
Cheers.